Good day, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you had a great day today. Okay, so continuing with building our simple conference registration web app. Today, we're going to be working on the homepage of the application, which is going to be a dashboard. So simply, it's just going to show the basic statistics of the registration that has been going on. So, what do we want to show? So today I'm using a Excalibur. I found it whilst browsing on the web. So it seems to be quite good. So I'm going to use that. Okay, so what do we want to see when the person enters the application? So what is the stats of the registration? So first off, we want to show the total. Let's get rid of that. So we want to see the total number of registered participants. So we want to see that. Let's make this one. Right. So the next thing that I want to also see is the total payments, which is very, very important. So the total payments or the total amount. I don't know, total payment amounts. I don't know, whichever is okay. So these are the two main things that I actually want to see in the as the basic statistics of the registration process. The other things that we can add is separating out the statuses. So how many people have fully paid, how many people have partially paid, and the pledges too as well. So let's say sections. Let's make it total amount of fully paid participants. So the same thing for the total amount of partially paid participants. Then obviously total amount of pledges. Sorry, so we have pledges, and we also want to see the people the not the people per se, but the total number of those participants, as well as so let's add this as well as number of fully paid participants. Same goes for number of partially paid participants and number of pledges. The total, let's call it the total number of participants who has pledged. Okay. All right. So that is that. So these are the basic information that we can show on the dashboard. Another thing that we can do is we know the total amount that's supposed to be uh, paid. So what we can do is we can do some sort of uh, ratio or the total amount left to be paid, especially for the partial and the pledges. So the total amount left to be paid partial, we just add it up and then subtract it from the total amount and kind of that stuff. So this will be the remaining, let's call it remaining amount to be paid. So that will be the summation. Just needs a full stop time. Go ahead. All right. So these are the basic stats that we want to show in the dashboard. So let's jump right into it. Okay, before we start, in the previous video, I made an error over here for the key that we are using to get the participant for the participant page. I was using one. It should rather be the participant ID so that it can be unique per each person that enters that checks the details of the person itself, it being one. Because if it's a single one, it's going to get the same data because the query is cached, and we do not want that. All right, so let's get rid of that. So we want to go to the app, and here we want to show the basic stats that we've uh, set to do. So first and foremost, we want to retrieve all the participants. So let's use the query. So use query. So we have the participant storage, and we need the function to return that. Get item, participant storage, participant, that's a list, and we have that. Okay, so once we have all these participants, we can break them down into the various categories that we have set. So the first and foremost that we want to do is the total number of registered participants. So let's say, I don't know, we are not styling it right now, so we're just going to put this information, the total number of participants. And let's put this into a strong tag, make it bold. Um, let's say, so this one will be the query, the data, the length of data. Okay, so the total number of, let's say, registered participants. So participants is 6. So we have a total number of 6 people. The other stat is the total or the total payment. Sorry. So let's see, we have a strong total payment. Then this one will be the query. So you're going to look at the entire query. So you're going to use the reduce since we are just adding all the total. So you're just going to reduce that to a total of 0. So this we have the accumulator and we have the participant here. So what we're going to do is simply just accumulator add the participant dot amount. And we have that. And we have a total of 85 dollars, I guess. So yes, we are using dollars. So yeah. So $85. I don't know if we can bring in this dollar symbol, but okay. Yes, is that it? Yeah, $85. It doesn't matter. Okay. So once that calculation is done, we also want to add the decimals to as well. So $85. Let's get rid of this some currency. We can have that done later. All right. So that's the total payment. The next stat we want to show is the total amount of fully paid participants, as well as the number of participants that are actually paid. So let's have this for here. So we're gonna have this as strong. So total fully paid, total fully paid amount. Let's call it like that. And we're going to use the query data. So we're going to do the exact same reduce. Going to have this to be 0. We have the accumulator and the participant. So what we're going to do is the accumulator. So if the participants.status is full. So if that is full, what we're going to do is simply just the accumulator plus participant the amount. We have that. If not, then we're just going to return the accumulator. And we're also going to set that to fix it, give it a 2 decimal place. And we have the total fully paid amount is $60 out of $85. And we also want to, let's break this up. Let's put this inside a div. We also want the other stats, which is the, sorry, we have the number of fully paid participants. So that will also be similar to what we have over here, kind of repeating the exact same thing. So let's times the data dot reduce because we are reducing that. You have the accumulator and the participant. Let's set this one to 0, so the default value is 0. So if the participant status, sorry, mess this up. Okay, so if the participant status is full, then we are going to do the accumulator plus 1. If not, you're just going to return that the total number of fully paid participants is 3. Okay, so just 3 people, we got $60 from it. Okay, now the next stat is kind of similar to what we have for this. So I guess we can simply just copy and paste. The only thing that we need to do is just change this 4. Okay, so let's do that. Let's have li. But seeing that the code is kind of the same for these two things, what we can do is simply create a function, no, not create a function, but perform this calculation and return an array of or an object of the total, the amounts paid, and the number of participants. So let's do that. Let's have this one here. So we have the query dot data dot reduce because we are reducing that, and we are going to return an object where the first one will be the amount. Let's call it the total amount, which will be starting off at 0, and the other will be the people. Let's call it people, starting off as 0 as well. So here we have the accumulator and the participants. So what we're going to do is if the participant, the status is not full, let's do it like that. We are just simply just going to return the accumulator. But if it is, then what we're going to do is simply return objects for the total amount, which is going to be the accumulator, the total. Why is it giving me wrong type definitions? We'll fix that later. Amount plus the participant dot amount, and the people will be the accumulator dot people dot plus 1. Oh, this is strange. Object is possibly undefined. All right, this. Yeah. Let's see. This will be the full paid info. Let's call it like that. The full paid info. So with that, we can simply just replace all that we did over here. Oops. Let's use that here. Then we have the total amount. Nice. Then we can simply do the same for, oh, sorry, I just made one mistake, not that one, but this one. Let's change this one to the fully paid total amount. So we have that, and we can do the same for this one. So instead of that, it's going to be people, and it remains the same. Great. So now we can perform the exact same calculation for the other two as well, the pledges and the participants. Sorry, the pledges and the other is called partial. But I don't want to repeat this entire code again for the other two. So what I'm going to do is just going to move this into a function, and then inside that function pass in this the status that we want to use. So what we're going to do is simply just create a function over here. Let's say we get total status info. Instead of total, let's get status info. So pass in the status, and it's going to be the participant status. So the type definition should be of the participant status. And we're simply just going to grab this and return that over here. So hence we have to change the code a little bit. So in this case, instead of it being that if the status does match it, what we're going to do is we're going to run this calculation. If not, we're going to return that. Or we can just simply do this return statement to keep things neat and get rid of that. Mix spaces and tabs. There's my quick fix. We can just tell make. I don't think. Okay, yeah, it works. All right, so we get the status info. So the fully paid info, we can simply just use this function to get status info. Then we want the full. Still remains the same. Nice. So what we're gonna do for the other two is this partial. Let's call it partial paid info. Partial. Then this one will be the pledge. This one will be pledge paid info. So we're going to do the exact same thing here. I'm just going to grab this and do that for this one. So this one, instead of total fully paid, we're going to total partial paid amount. So this one will be partial paid amount. So the total number of this one will be partial. And we save that, right? So we can see that this is the partial amount and the total amount. The next thing that we also want to add, the final one, nope, this the total pledges instead of this one, so to be paid. Yes, we can do that as well. So let's call this pledge paid info, the number of uh, participants who has pledged, or I don't know, pledge, whatever. We can use the pledge paid info, and we can see that total pledges to be paid is none. Number of participants who has pledged is none, and it's always working beautifully for us. Okay, so the last stats that we want to show is the remaining amount to be paid. So we know that there's the total amount, total payment to be made, or the full amount made to be paid is $85. And nope, that's only the summation of the fully paid and the partial paid. So I guess this stats has to be changed. So total paid amount, I guess the total paid amount, but we want to see the amount to get, or the full amount from all the participants registered, and we also get the remaining from that. So to do that, let's quickly so we're going to be using this value over here, the calculated amount paid. So just this over here, this is amount paid. Let's get that. We simply just go to this one and grab just grab this amount paid. It's this one. We can just simply replace this. All right, so we have the amount paid. Oh, this one needs to be can be undefined. That's fine. We have the amount paid, but if we want to get the uh, total amount to be, let's say, collected, yes, we can total amount to be collected. That comes in from the query. So we simply just going to be let's say the length of that. So the total number of people that have been registered multiplied by the amount that's that's the multiplied by the registration fees, the amount that we are supposed to collect. All right, so let's see. So we have the registration fee multiplied by this, and let's just do that. So if there's nobody registered, then this one will be 0. So the total amounts to be collected is this. So let's have this stats right here. Let's bring that right before the other stat. Uh, amounts paid. This one, yeah. I'll bring it right up to this one. Let's see the strong amount to be collected. We have that. So the amount to be collected is 120 I don't know, naira, dollars, whatever, any amount currency that you're dealing with. So let's put that into two decimal places because most currency work that way. And we also want to get the remaining amount. So we want to do it remaining amount to be paid. And that is pretty simple. So we just get the total amount to be collected and we get the amount paid. Since this one is undefined, we just simply use the knowledge correlation to say that if the amount paid is not defined, then we just use 0. So the remaining amounts to be paid, we just simply add that to the stats right here. Set this to strong amount remaining to be paid. Let's do that. And we have the stats right here. All right. So that's 35. Is that even correct? Oh, sorry. Just to fixed, and that's weird. All right, so we have $35 left to be paid, and we have $85, which should give us a total of $120. All right, great. So we have our stats. So let's say, for example, we want to check the so we can navigate to the participants page. Let's go to the participants page, and let's say we want rather let's do this. Oops, did I just mess up? That's strange. Okay, so we want to have a button to add a participant around here. So let's just do it this way. So we have a link, right? And it's two, and it's just going to register to add participant quickly. So we can go to the participant so we can register a new participant. So entered a new person called Peter Scrolls, age of 35. The address is Brook Block 78. The telephone, their email, and the amount that they're paying is $10. So we know that the total amount that we are supposed to collect is $120 in general. That means all the people that have been registered, we are supposed to collect this amount. But we've already paid, some people have already paid, which amounts to $85. So in this case, if when we register this person, we are supposed to get $95 as the amount paid, and the total amount to be paid or to collect for amount will be $140. So if we register the person, right? So I guess we can navigate the person back. So if we go back to here, we can see that the amount paid is 95 and the total amount collected is $140. The amount remaining to be paid also is $45 as well. All right, so that's all for this video. We've added a dashboard. It looks terrible. We're going to do all the styling in a later video, but for now, this is it. Thanks very much. Thanks a lot for watching the video. Do let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Like, dislike, share, or anything that is to your fancy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless you.